at the last ones. Okay. Kia ora. Hi, mai ki te whare ranui. Anna Lily Tokoingoa. So I'm Anna Lily. I am your chair of Forest and Bird Waitakere branch. And thank you all for coming, because it's a beautiful day out there and I'm sure you would be much happier sitting on the beach with fish and chips. So thank you for coming. Our AGM, which we will go through quite quickly, I hope, because that way we can focus on the branch project updates and our speakers. So I say speakers because we've got two staff members of Ark in the Park who are standing in for the manager, Daria, because Daria is ill. So I'm really, really glad that they take over. It takes two to replace one, just saying, but I'm sure they take turns. So first of all, a huge thank you to my fellow committee members. I think a number of them are in the room there. We've got John Stanland here, yes, over there. John Sumich, first row. We've got Dave here doing the minutes. Sitting to my right, Chris in the back with the green t-shirt, me. Liz still behind the table? No? Where did it go? Oh, Liz does our communications and our coffee. And apologies from these two. One of them is on holiday. How dare she? Jeanette Fawcett, and the other one is unfortunately called away for a family emergency. Her son-in-law had an accident. He's fine, but she needed to be there. Also, a welcome to a latest addition to staff membership. So you are the Auckland Regional Manager? Conservation Manager. Welcome. We're always honored if staff make it here, or board members, they sometimes do. The branch would not be the branch without all of you as members and all of you who run projects, whether you are members or not. So we also have our KCC team here, training up the next KCC coordinator there, so Jessie and Rebecca, with Rebecca's daughter Alexis as well. Okay, so that's thank you. These are all the people and everything they do, but they will introduce themselves. So there we go. This is what we are going to go through. Like I said, pretty quickly, hopefully, the election of officers and committee members. That is the bit where people who stood are the same team actually that stood last year, so we are all standing to be elected. There are some vacancies, so if you want to be elected, then you can still put your hand up tonight. You have to find someone who supports that, and you could be voted in as well. There you go. One of my favorite sayings, because it sometimes feels like there's just a few of us doing stuff. It's great to see all of you in this room, but sometimes there's, you're working by yourselves in very tiny groups and you think, is anything actually happening? And especially with all the wars happening at the moment, it might feel a bit overwhelming, but I totally agree with her. We are changing the world. So some 2025 plus some 2026 ones. The latest is, if you have read your email, then Nicola Toki, the CEO of Forest and Bird overall, so the Royal Forest and Bird Protection Society of New Zealand, the whole big thing, she has resigned due to family issues. So, which is really sad, because we've got an election. She did a great job, and we've got an election coming up, and this is an election year. And we needed all hands on deck, so we're missing two very capable hands now, which is sad, but it is what it is. Last year, we did a strategic session with a Forest and Bird staff member. She runs the Pest-Free Hibiscus Coast project, Jenny Hanwell, and as a branch, basically, we decided that I thought it would be good to have a strategic session, see what we need to do differently. And it turned out that actually what we're doing is great. So we don't really need to do anything different. We do really identified a gap, which is the writing of submissions for plans from Auckland Council, from plans that are region-wide, from plans that are national, to give our voice in that. Because currently none on our committee have the time or the inclination to do so. So if you feel that is something you want to do, if you don't want to be on the committee, that's fine, but we could do with someone like that really well. There are a couple of people in green t-shirts. We have Waitakere branch t-shirts. This is new. It took 15 years before I got something that had our branch on it. So if you are interested in buying them, they are online, somewhere deep in the Forest and Bird website. They are for sale. If you can't be bothered digging that deep into the website, the book you signed in on, hopefully your name, just put your email address behind your name and say behind that, say t-shirt, and I will next week go through those emails and send you the information where you can buy the t-shirt. Because, you're all proud to be Waitakere branch, aren't you? Yay. I do the bi-monthly Auckland Regional Chairs meeting, which is the update of everyone coming together of all 9, I think, branches, region-wide, so all the way up to North Auckland, South Auckland, which is really cool. And I thought I highlight that this year because if there's anyone who is interested in a different branch or goes, hey, how does that work? Then you know to come and have a chat to me. And within the branch, it took me years to understand this. So you've got a branch has committees, has a committee. All of you can vote us as a committee. Then within that committee, you vote for a councillor. And then a councillor votes for the Forest and Bird Board. So for the Royal Forest and Bird Protection Society of New Zealand, that's a trust. Trust has a board. So those councillors then vote for the board. Okay, so that's what I do. But I talk to all my committee members. But if any of you have specific ideas about who to vote for the board of your own society, then you are very welcome to come to a meeting or email or call and say, this is my opinion. And we are now, as councillors, in a conversation with the board to make sure that branches are still really connected with the whole organization, because it's a very large organization by now and it is quite easy to lose touch. So that is basically it for me. Are there any questions? Short questions, please. Yes, no, yes. Thank you. Thank you, Dave. That's why he's here. Apologies. Yes. So we have Jeanette and Raywin as apologies from our branch. Are there any other apologies people want to give on behalf of the people who are not here? Nope. Cool. So it's Jeanette and Raywin. Then I'm going to do the financial overview, which is very small letters, but I can send this out. It is, if we go through it, pointer thing. Maybe not pointer thing.
There's a pointer on speak.
Okay, pointer thingy finger. So the first thing, of course, is Taiharuru Lodge. So I hope you all know that as a member, you can book any lodge. There are still 6. I'm looking at people who might know 5 or 6 lodges. One of them, ours is the best, isn't it, Chris? Yeah. Ours is in Piha. It is amazing. You can book it. It is very reasonably priced for members. And that is a big part of our income. But it does cost something to keep it going, which is the next bit. And this year it cost quite a lot more because we had the whole flat renovated. But Chris will say a bit more about that. Yep. Then this stuff, it looks like we made a loss on our calendars and diaries. That is just because the money goes into the new year. We still sell them in December, so the money goes in the new year. So, and we paid for them in the old year. Does that make sense? Yeah. Some donations. Thank you for those of you who did that. Grant income, I write to various funders and get some money in, and then we have interest income, which is incredible. That is the interest on the money that we have gathered before. Then the operating expenses, which are quite clear. This is Ark in the Park operating expenses, is not the Ark project that has its own budget. This is only what we contribute as a branch. That is kind of historical, when Ark in the Park had absolutely no money, and it ran on volunteers, and the volunteers ran on sausages. We bought them the sausages. So, any questions about this? No. Okay. What? Yep. I thought I'll do that next. Okay, but we can do that now. I mean, because we need to do this one and then. Okay. Yep. Okay. Good. So this is what we own. That's what we owned last year. Liabilities, the stuff that we still have to pay. And this is the end result. So even with upgrading the flat, we are still doing quite well. You can think, why do we have this much money? You are not a bank. Totally agree with that. But again, a large part of that is earmarked. Some is for Taharuru building. So if we need something bigger to happen, the other one is for Ark in the Park, earmarked. Also a bit more historical, before Forest and Bird as a national organization supported it as well as they do now, to make sure that what was our biggest project as a branch doesn't keel over. Any questions about that? Okay, then, the acknowledgements, quite clear. The thank yous for the staff at Forest and Bird head office who do our financials every month. And then I'm going to step towards Dave, what he pointed at me. What is the wording I have to say? Okay, I do a motion that the 2025 AGM accounts are approved. Can I have a seconder for that? Thank you, John. Yes. And then also that the minutes from last year are approved. I'm sure you've all read them. Okay, can I have a seconder for that, John? Why not? Good, John, sorry. Thank you. So we're moving that. We've done that. Yes, John, thank you. Good, perfect. So now that was my part of stand-up comedy for the day. We're skipping Ark in the Park, like I said, because we've got them as a full report after the AGM, so then they can say whatever they want, and it's not recorded as part of the AGM. So we've got, so that's beautiful. And now it's Habitat to Hangar. John, can I invite you?
Okay. I think there's more words today. Yeah, okay. So, Mannington, since 2015 now, has been, or was it 2014? Anyway, fortnightly checks of the original two lines, over 100 traps. These are Doc 200s, some Steve Allen traps, and yeah, we've branched out. There are quite a few devices there. That should be at least, I think, 140 traps he does every fortnight, and he's been a pest control officer, so every trap is checked monthly. So he does half on one fortnight, the other half another fortnight, checks their weights. It's incredible. The weights, the spring weights, that's an important aspect of trapping animals. We've been added, new predator control areas on Ken Jordan's land. That's if you go out to Bethel's Beach, looking across to when you start seeing the big ponds there, then the wooded area on the far side. Ken Jordan owns that, so we've added more control there. We used to be just around the wetland edge. We've moved in now Steve Allen traps, some of those, and some AT220s. Some of them had about 9 or 10 possums under. It's just the possum heaven in there. It's never been trapped there. We're finally getting rid of them as well. Great matuku muster over 3 nights. 5 matuku were heard. We'd also had automatic recording devices there, as we have done for the last 7 or 8 years. And so it was good that what we heard was the same as the recording devices. And we also have our own recording devices now. And we wanted to see how ours how our people could read the sonograms compared with the professional who's been doing it for about 40 years. And that was good that, you know, it was possible that to see from those sonograms exactly what the professional guy had seen. Auckland Council once again used a thermal camera to try and detect the matuku nests, but none were found. And then January 2025, we had 10 days of spraying of the crack willow and 10 days of manual drill and inject. 10 days of drone spraying, got about 90% of the willows that were killed, and it took another 10 days to get a final 10%. It's difficult doing the manual drill and inject to the extent that our contractor lost 2 of his workforce of 5. They decided it was too bloody hard, and that was that. They left. You know, crawling through water up to your chest or getting stung by wasp nests, going under and over branches. It's manual drill and inject. If anyone tells you, oh, they should be doing that instead of spraying, get them out there. Get them to, none of these people have never been in all of that, for goodness sake. Okay, so, so next weekend, on 10 days' time, we're going with friends at Whatapu to get rid of some woolly nightshade tobacco plant there. But I've been trying to get them to introduce Pāteki to the scientific reserve. What is dockland, but Auckland Council administers it, and it's ideal. The recovery group think it's great. There's a wonderful set of traps and that. So we've still got to get talking. We've got council has had big changes in personnel, so I've got to start talking to a new person to see if this can happen. And we've had funding, as it says there, from Auckland Zoo and Council for pest controlling work. Any questions?
I had a beautiful picture.
Here's Eric's picture of Kate and Gina, female fruit. Well, the festival, this is actually part of, in a sense, part of Habitat helps them, sorry, Habitat Te Henga, but it's a much older part, and we actually own this. It's 120 hectares of beautiful forest in the Waitakere Valley. And the pest control used to be sort of isolated, but it now is connected with Matuku Link next door, because the pests don't care.
Put you there because otherwise those people can't see our slide.
The pests don't care who owns it. So it's all done and aligned with Matuku Link by these amazing trappers, and some here tonight, Eric and Kian and Maylane, Lee and Nicole. And the bait lines are done by Matt Mannington, before Josie, Stu, Anko, Stephen, Wayne, Lisa, Craig, Jill and Andrew and myself, and Christine and others. So this has resulted in under 5% rat footprints in monitoring tons. Because what does that mean? Well, it means they're reasonably low, but there's still lurkers around. For those who want to see a bit about the stats, I've got a couple of maps here which have to be interpreted, but here they are. There's more we can do. And ongoing deer and goat control done by Auckland Council contractors. In fact, just recently they closed the reserve and it surrounds to get these deer, goats mostly, but there's the odd deer comes down from South Head, fallow deer. We end up with those in the Waitakere ranges. And one of the good things that's happened is through other funding, but it's not the reserve itself, but the reserve is affected by land around it. And Jonta's farmland right next door has now finally got a whole series of kill traps managed and persuaded by Matt Mannington. And he's got some AT220s, the automatic kill traps, but mostly DOC 200s. And there's no bait stations, but there's all this array now of killers, which means that they won't come so much into the Matuku reserves. That's a big step forward. So it's never happened before like that. We recently contributed 12,000 towards the Snowsling repairs of recycled asphalt.
Yeah.
Any questions? Thank you for the Council for Pest Control. Yes, John.
Could you perhaps tell people why Jonkers decided to be persuaded to put the traps there?
Well, one of the reasons definitely is he trusts Matt Mannington. And Matt Mannington is a lovely man and who's really very much trusted in the area. But the other thing I think that you're getting at is that the farmer started seeing the forest bird was doing some good things.
No. Kiwi.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, sorry, yes. When he has said some good things about forest bird, which is a thumbs up. No, but yes, that's right. The Muriwai
Environment group.
environment has been really active in the last 2 or 3 years. And they're up at Muriwai, but they got all this land there coming south and doing around the public walkway. And they've been in big with Save the Kiwi. And Save the Kiwi are a lot easier to work with them with dogs, fewer restrictions and rules. They do the right thing, of course. And there's quite a probability that we will have Kiwi again here, because they're going to release them up towards Goldie's Bush, and that's a big area. And Kiwi tend to walk, and now they love farmland, and there's a bit of a scrub or gorse or whatever. They live well on farmland. We last had Kiwi in the reserve, 42 of them, because I put them there way back in 1980. But in those days, no scientists, nobody had any idea that the main threat to Kiwi were states. Had no idea. So now we know that there's quite a possibility eventually the Kiwi will walk down into the western part of the reserve and then eastwards, we hope.
And the Muriwai Environmental Group has, as part of its application, part of the strength is that what we are doing just south of them is going to add to the value that they're putting in all their traps. So that's one of the reasons that we're working in Jonkers and also in Jordan's. So just because Jordan's is only about 100 metres away from Goldie's Bush.
And people like Kiwi, and so the farmer was really persuaded he wants Kiwi, so you've got to have pest control for that. That's good news.
Thank you. Yep. Cool. Eric.
Waitakere Reserve is 12 hectares in the middle of probably 30 hectares of other privately owned native forest. Basically, I've had a year in that title as voluntary ranger. We've had a little bit of difficulty with the original donors, and they were very determined to see it open to the public. But Forest and Birds' priority is, of course, conservation, not recreation. And we've just been working through what we can do to keep the reserve adequately protected, again, particularly carried by dieback, as with Matuku Reserve. To upgrade it to dry foot standard would cost something like 600,000. So it's not an easy decision. Pest control has been ongoing. I've been trapping there every 2 weeks for some years. Matt Mannington also does the rodent baiting there on a between 3 and 4 services per year. Now, what we've been working on, and in conjunction with John and head office, is a protocol that outlines the conditions for a strictly controlled guided walk, where invitation only. What we've done there is spent some time encouraging neighbours to participate in what we call a halo, which is basically them actively involved in trapping and baiting of predator pests. And what we want to do is we'll have a trial run fairly soon. again, with very strict footwear, cleaning and sanitising conditions, and we will invite a group of people to see the very special botany that we've got there. I hope that John can help with the guiding process, because it is a special place and we want to keep it there. We've established a Facebook group page, and we've got over 30 members now that are involved in that. So it's striking that balance between getting some buy-in and enthusiasm from the near neighbours, but also giving them an opportunity to share it on a very carefully controlled basis.
Okay, sorry, that's me again, because the two people who are, apologies for tonight, are Raywin and Jeanette, and ta-da! So they are doing amazing work. It's a really great project, because all of our other projects are deep in the bush, which is really good for some people, but not for others. This has a trap line that is basically along a walkway. So it attracts completely different people, which is good, because we need a wide variety of people involved. They're really good at keeping track of what they catch. That's very motivational as well, and also the increasing fern bird population. So thanks to Birds New Zealand, so Birds Auckland, Trina and Ian do regular counts, and they do them well, and they do them consistently, so they know the fern bird population is actually going up. And because they've been trapping possums for a while, the new growth of trees is very obvious as well. And dead chicks seen, woohoo! Super exciting. At the same time, don't forget there was also once a matuku seen about 8 years ago, I think, and never to be seen again. I think it flew back to Matuku Lake or to Hanga Wetland. But I hope the dead chicks stay there, because they're amazing little ambassadors. I just got a text this evening saying, please also tell people that there are new and more clear dog signs out in Orangahina now, which is something that a number of you I know have been fighting for, especially Chris there. He goes, yep, for very many years. So now it is much clearer where dogs can be and where they are not supposed to be. Yes, Jen.
Dead chicks on the drainage ponds, the stormwater control.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So they're doing great work, and their group is growing slowly but steadily into more and more people. So that group is also on the Te Taiao Te Atatu group, which is like a group of, it's not overarching or anything, it's just kind of like a network of other conservation groups there. And they're organizing some stuff, including a local rubbish cleanup. I think that is next month, which is something that Forest and Bird has done for years, but now it goes out wider, which is really good. And then this is, I don't know if you can really see that, but it says Possum Free Peninsula. So that is their aspirational aim, because it is a peninsula, water with a, quite deadly motorway going through it. So if you block it there, hopefully then there is a way to get possum free. If not, it is a great aspirational aim to get more people to join trapping. Chris, all yours. I'm not asking for questions because I can't answer them because the people there aren't there. Okay.
Thank you.
Do you want me to click? Or?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay, good.
Just jumping back for a moment, if I may. Simon Grant, who formerly worked for Community Waitakere, and I did a survey of the fernbird at Orangahina, and we estimated there was somewhere between 50 and 55 pair. It was about 2 years ago, so they definitely are on the increase, so very positive signs there. Anyway, our beloved Te Taharuru, thank you. So we've had some really positive stuff happened over the last year or so. As you can see in the top line there, we've did some amazing refurbishment. In fact, some of the committee, the subcommittee in particular, haven't even been out to see some of the new work, and we're looking forward to doing that. In fact, the main committee and the subcommittee heading out there this coming week to just check on things and see how it's all progressed and turned out, which is great. A regular contractor, Phil, who lives locally, is stuck by us really well. He doesn't always charge for this, so we're very grateful to Phil, even though he's not officially on the subcommittee. Yeah, I've touched on the upgrades, and those are the things, some of the things we've had done. The online booking system is a brand new system. Jane, who I don't believe is here tonight, no, she's our new booking officer, and what a powerhouse that lady is. She's organised a new online system which has made it far quicker and far easier for not just herself but for those that want to book the facility. So that's been a real blessing. It was so manual previously by the former booking officer. So we're really grateful to be able to have that updated system. And if you haven't been out for a while, do come and have a look. It's a fantastic place. You'll hopefully appreciate all the changes that have taken part and make improved it. And equally, if you're interested in helping us, and it's not all a matter of hard slog in the garden, but if you want to have some involvement in some capacity, please see myself or Anna Lily afterwards, and or shares, yeah. and thanks to the subcommittee, by the way, which is shares of Anko and Anna Lily and myself, and Jane, who is our booking officer, but not officially on the subcommittee. So, thank you.
Any questions for Chris?
Thank you. I've got it.
Yep, that's this one.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see you change it. Sorry. I'm thinking,
Okay,
come on.
I got click.
Also, just jumping back momentarily to Haringahina, we haven't had a lot of events. A lot of the markets we used to once support have changed or disappeared. For instance, the Oratia Farmers Market, of which I was quite frequently attending on behalf of the branch to promote forest and bird, is a different sort of market to what it used to be, and they don't even have a community stall aspect like other markets do. They have some have an obligatory aspect to them, which means they must have a community contribution each market, but they no longer do, so it's made it tricky. But the people that Anna Lily mentioned that operate so well at Haringahina did have one market which helped to promote all the stuff that you've heard about tonight and more to do with forest and bird. So we have got some connection there, but we would love to have more involvement out there and exposure of forest and bird and what we do. And so again, just like Taipei, if there's anyone that might be interested in doing that, and it's a bit like Anna Lily said, not everyone wants to work deep in the bush. Everyone has different roles and functions and different ways of contributing. So if something like that might be helpful, to be behind a stall and chat to people, to passers-by, then please see me or Anna Lily afterwards, and we'll be happy to have a chat. Any questions? Kia ora.
Ladies.
Kia ora everyone, my name is Rebecca. We're the KCC coordinators for the Waitakere branch. That photo that was just before, that was on the beach. We went down for this year, and we went down to the beach and learned all about the dotterels. And we actually found, we were able to go into a nesting area that had been closed off to the public because the dotterels had moved on, the babies were no longer there. And some of our children actually found what we think, we got sent out to researchers, an egg that was no longer fertile. So it was very exciting, it was really great. But we'll go to the next one. KCC is going well. We're doing one event a term, which is keeping us really busy, but Jessie and I have both managed to get some more people on board so that we can keep it going, keep more happening. So we're really excited to have Mark. Mark Toll is an intermediate science teacher who's very passionate about the environment and has young children. So he's going to be coming on board and helping us run events as well, and potentially some other people to do some office work stuff. There's lots of other stuff there that, I don't know, you don't really want to know about that. You want to know about the fun stuff the kids are doing. So we've been doing the Pika Pika Toroa at the Cascades. That was a huge event. We sold out in 20 minutes. If you can say sold out, the sign up sheet was sold out in 20 minutes. And then we went up to Arataki, and Ollie, who was at Arataki, did a really great presentation on curry dieback and why we clean our feet. The Sustainable Schools team up there lent us some resources, so we were able to show kids how big some of these giant curry trees grow, and we all held these big ropes to see how big they were, which was really impressive. And then we took them all for a bushwalk down to and appreciate all the curry trees. And then this was our event down at Te Hinga to look at the dotterels and the penguins. And we even got the kids out to see a real penguin nest, which was very exciting. Yeah, they really love that. So basically we've got some great things happening this coming year. Hopefully we'll be able to run some more events. But I have a special guest who is going to kill me because she is spearheading our next event. And I asked her if she would say just a couple of sentences about what it is that she wants to do. Alexis? Go for it.
Hi, I'm Alexis and I'm a KCC kid. I've been planning our next event and have decided that we will find out how much plastic is on our West Coast beaches. We will be taking samples by measuring a quadrant and visually looking for rubbish, then taking a sample from 4 different beaches, microplastics. My prediction is that Piha will have the most plastic because lots of tourists go there and Karikara will have the least.
Yeah. So Alexis is doing an inquiry at school at the moment looking at microplastics, and so she has asked if we can do some beach surveys on all of the different houses at her school. So we are going to invite all the other KCCs to come along and see if they want to come to the 4 different events or whether they just want to come to one. But that's what we're going to be doing next. So just really wanting to empower our rangatahi and try and get even some of the forest and bird youth involved in running events would be fantastic. Yay!
That was the egg.
Yeah, that's the egg.
Liz.
Right, I do this in conjunction with Anna Lilly, finds all the speakers,
Sometimes.
and I'm always saying, got speakers for next month.
So if you know any really good, interesting speakers, please let me know. Yep.
So we're continuing here at this community centre, the third Thursday of each month, and yeah, the activities. Well,
Yes.
we're going to. Do you want to talk about those or not?
Well, basically, most of our activities, like it says here, our most active, biggest project at the moment is at Matuka Link, which is not a Forest and Bird project, but a nice neighbor. But I also put in their trips. I know that some of you have been members for a very long time, and some of you reminisce about the times that Forest and Bird also organized trips to places. So like with a bus or something. I've never done those. I'm personally way too busy to do that. But if you think that is really important to do and you want to organize them, please go ahead and organize them. I can do a bit of the background promotion, and I can ask Liz that she can do some promotion for them as well. So we make sure that it is nicely and lots of people there. But if you want to do one of those trips, then great. If you think, oh, those events are good, but actually we're all getting slightly on in years and we rather want to spend that energy on our younger people, then we just had the 2 people who would love to do more events if other people organize them, eh? Cool. Then the next one is all yours.
Okay, publications, we get really good support from local publications listed there. It was interesting because somebody said to me last year about one of the publications, oh, they're really expensive, what do they charge you? And I said, well, we get it for free.
Really
So
expensive.
none of them charge us, so we're really lucky. I've got a really good relationship with the editors, and so I also get things before the deadline, it's fine. And also we have the online advertising through Community Waitakere. use Mel's Barton, who sends it through to all her contacts. She's a tree lady, and the Green Party. That's about it. Are there any questions about any of that?
Question is, what is the reach of our branch?
I don't
I'm
do the
just
paper.
curious.
Anna Lily does that.
Yeah.
It's more when I actually post something. So it's not big, it's like 1,500 or something.
Yeah, Anna Lily does all the face. She does the newsletters.
Yeah, no, but like that community Waitakere news that goes out. That I quite like that you use them as well, because they go out to not people who
Yes.
usually look at
Right.
conservation, but might say, oh.
Yep.
And hey, yeah,
Yep.
and so reaches people that usually we wouldn't.
Yeah, well, same with Mel's Barton.
Yeah.
Mel's Barton's group.
Yeah.
They go to a wide area.
Yeah.
Whereas the publications are more West Auckland.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great.
Any questions?
If anyone wants to make TikTok movies for the branch, please go. Fully supportive of that. Mine or yours.
Partnerships, but that's probably not the right word. Best word's probably bits and bobs. One is, last year there was quite a bit of effort done into renewing the Memorandum of Understanding, which is a partnership agreement for Art in the Park between Forest and Bird and Council. And because that was quite a complicated one, because it hadn't been done for 10 years, so a lot of things that kind of needed to be updated. I worked on that quite closely with Ali. And the reason I volunteered to do that is because I've been in the unfortunate position that in all my previous works I've had to do heaps and heaps of things like that with partnerships and memorandum of understanding and diplomatic conventions where you all have to agree, and the wording can be extremely important so that everybody gets what they want. The other part of it also is, while I also stay involved with some of the governance kind of meetings that come out of that, it's because with Art in the Park, like, it's kind of a thing of its own. It's different from some of the other partnerships of groups with council. And one of the passions I have is to have that conservation, and especially community conservation, needs to be as inclusive as possible. And you need to use the different types of players because they all have different strengths and weaknesses. And in that sense, my personal experience, I can draw on both people I know and things I've done myself. I've worked for Forest and Bird because I've in a very past life been the manager of Art in the Park. I am on the committee, I'm a committee member. I am part of the West Auckland community, and I've worked in community development as well. And of course, I've worked for a government agency, and therefore I understand that you're basically talking about 4 or 5 different groups that all have extremely good intentions, but actually in reality, and you must accept that reality, live in different worlds, and they have to. They have different strengths, different weaknesses, and different constraints. And I love trying to work on that and create something where everybody works together happily as possible most of the time. The other thing that kind of relates to that is because I've worked in conservation both in West Auckland and in Taranaki and up in North Rodney in different types of things, a fenced sanctuary, an unfenced sanctuary, and a very big 54,000 hectare landscape project. I love staying involved with those and just trying to network between people. Like, here's somebody working something, there's something working, and it's just an email to these two. Hey, do you actually know that you're dealing with the same challenges? You want to talk to each other. And in that capacity, I also, less this year, because there was a bit too many other things going on, but at some stage I was like an active member of the Pest-Free Waitakere Ranger Alliance Committee, and I still keep track of that, because again, it does, that whole West Auckland thing. And one of the great things they did is to help and try to empower local groups in West Auckland to do things. And one of the things that Michelle Swanepoel has been very active with over the last 2 years is the special species for each locality, special species that gets promoted. There is an event, there is artwork done, there are t-shirts, whatever, and this is not all of them yet. There's a few more, but they didn't fit on the slide. They're also all available to get t-shirts of these things, and they're all different type of artworks, and they're all pretty stunning. And I'm sure that one of these species will be your favorite. And the money of that helps those local groups with doing their things, like the doctoral one is very strongly linked to the Bethel's Beach.
No, the doctoral is Kari, I think.
Yeah.
Because Beth, we've got the bar too.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, it's a
Yes.
Kari, the
Yes.
Kari one, etc.
But it's,
So,
yeah.
yeah. And
So
there's
the
obviously there's a
doctoral one
Matuku and there's a Kokako,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
a Weta, and I love also that it's not just birds.
No,
There's a fish,
yes.
everything. Cool. And the sort of thing, the plans is the same, more the same.
Yep. I don't know. John. Anyway, people, read this. Our neighbouring project, doing really well. Next thing coming up, I don't have to advertise the Kayak Day because it's sold out. So those of you who missed that, bad luck. We do loads of events. So if you're interested in any of the events or want to be on the mailing list, then just email me. We are looking for casual teachers to strengthen our wetland education team. Rebecca here is also our part-time educator at Matuku, which the project focuses on primary schools delivery, and Rebecca and Aileen deliver to them a in-school visit most of the time, and then the school comes to us and does amazing stuff. The teachers are raving about it, and the students come back, and we focus on local schools, and we focus on the schools in the low socioeconomic areas, because we think those ones, and the trust, and John are both on the trust, feel that there is most to be gained in getting them out in nature and in with the wetland. Yes, so that is it. Yes, Paul, question. Stretching. Oh, also good. Any questions that are not stretching? We're almost there. Good. Okay, this is the last bit. Election of officers. So I'm standing again. One of you nominated me, and someone seconded me. So is there anyone else who wants to stand for chair? No? Good. Everyone's very quiet. Thank you. Treasurer Sonia Bellingham, please keep her because she's a staff member and she does all the work. So yes, and we've got Dave as minute taker. Does anyone else want to do those roles? No? Great. Pop, come on. Yes. Then we've got the election of the committee. Is there anyone else who wants to stand, or anyone who has an issue with any of this that we can't resolve? Good, perfect. Then we have got the same committee. Thank you all for being on the committee again. And we are now, yes, we're there.
No. I just wanted to say that that's the official members of our committee members. But if anybody has an interest, like I know there's already a couple of times mentioned in doing a particular thing, you do not have to be a committee member to get stuck in and help. And it's a very nice way to dip your toe in and see what maybe you want to do.
Also, if you are on the committee, we meet every month, but we meet in person and then alternating online, and we don't do December and January. So basically it's 10 times a year. So it's basically you run your own project and you talk about that in the meeting. I am closing the meeting so we can finally actually get to some of the good stuff. Taiharuru, what Chris was saying, we are having our get together that everyone is invited to, but please do let us know, especially because it's coming Monday. It is at 3 o'clock this Monday. We always have our talks right here. So we've got some really good ones coming up. The first one is 16th of April. And then we've got a flotilla in Waiheke. I know it's not Waitakere, but you know, the ocean is really important to us. And especially because I think most of you will agree that bottom trawling is a particularly stupid idea. So if you want to go, this should be, as if you're a Forest and Bird member, this should have hit your email as well. If not, and you do want to know about it, just go online and you'll find more information. So this is Saturday, the 11th of April. You do not have to be on a boat. You can also be on land. And if you're in Auckland, it's quite expensive to get to Waiheke, but they have discounted fares as well. Okay, sorry, I did not change that, did not have time to change that, but instead of diarrhea, we've got Jess and Petra. Okay, thank you.